Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Open Web Forum, curated by Fabric Ventures. Over the last few days, we've heard about the variety of ways that crypto touches our everyday lives and the industries it has the potential to revolutionize. And so now I'm looking forward to stepping back and seeing the bigger picture with our next session. Up next, we have Jeremy Millar, founding board member of Enterprise Ethereum Alliance and chief of staff at ConsenSys, on how large is the crypto ecosystem. Jeremy, over to you.
Thanks. I think the slides are up. So when people talk about exponential technologies, they talk about overlapping technologies that multiply together to produce nonlinear growth. And that's certainly what we've seen in the crypto ecosystem over the last 5 years. To put this in context, the most frequently measured metric for the size of the crypto ecosystem is the total market cap of all the coins, which comes out to something like 2 trillion. It was up a bit, it's down a bit, but it's certainly up and to the right. The point I want to make in this presentation is that grossly underestimates the size and impact of the crypto ecosystem today. Even simply measuring by market cap, this excludes many of the main actors that are required to operate the ecosystem. I mean, we've listed some on the right, but this also doesn't include AWS. ConsenSys alone runs thousands and thousands of nodes on AWS and other data centers. And so the total economy of crypto is much, much bigger than the market cap itself. For example, as our slides load, DeFi generates real revenue, and these are incredibly profitable businesses. So if we look back a year ago, the DeFi ecosystem, the decentralized exchanges, the lending and savings products, the derivatives that are available, the financial primitives that are built on top of Ethereum that are used to create this open programmable money Lego supermarket, which is the Ethereum ecosystem, was generating about $600,000 of revenue a day. So this isn't the value of the tokens, this isn't the market cap, this is the actual trading fees that were earned. And today that number is something like $13 million a day, right? If people may have seen the MakerDAO, surpasses $200 million of revenue. People may have seen the Uniswap revenue, the Uniswap volumes. Uniswap is as big as Coinbase these days. And the numbers just keep going up and up and up. So we're talking about an ecosystem where there is 20x growth in revenue in a year. 20x growth in revenue in a year, right? This is unprecedented. Even relative to SaaS or AI or the first internet itself, the adoption of these products to execute financial transactions, the real value, the real operations of this is a business in itself that is very, very substantive and real today. And so if we drill into one of these, not only is it real, it's better, strictly better. Maker is a better bank. It's a better bank where you know what happens. It's where board discussions are available online. It's where users can vote on what right and wrong is and what it should and shouldn't do. Earnings are available live. In fact, users of the system can participate via the tokens and participate in those earnings, right? And so it is strictly a better bank. And it's also a better bank that does not collapse. There was a really interesting tweet storm during the latest volatility that said, look, we've just had a 40% correction, right? Hundreds of billions of dollars of market cap released. No central bank stepped in, no custodian needed bailing out, no margin runs leading to calls and calls and calls for liquidity, no need for the Fed to open a window to fuel liquidity into the system. It just worked and kept on running. It is a strictly better bank. Or Uniswap, which is growing much, much, much faster than Coinbase, right? And infinitely, infinitely more efficient as a business. Again, other people can find the data of this. But Uniswap has a few dozen employees, right? Coinbase has 800 employees in customer success alone, right? The staggering efficiencies of these businesses are just astronomical. And looking at the volumes that are running through a system that was written, by a few hackers, really good ones, it's just absolutely incredible. And increasingly what we're seeing is these tools continue to proliferate, liquidity to continue to flow into the system, and the ecosystem continue to grow and grow and grow. Or Yarn, a decentralized asset manager, where again has achieved 20% of wealth fund in 2 years, right? So in the same amount of time that it took the best in class consumer robo-advisors, right, to get there, it's insane. It's just insane, right? Wealthfront and Betterment are 15 years old, right? An upstart based on this ecosystem can achieve, a material fraction of that in a year or two, right? Because of the broader adoption. And not just because of the broader adoption, but because how the system works itself. If you're trying to build a financial platform for consumers or users or institutional investors in crypto, you don't start by trying to negotiate a bunch of contracts with vendors. You simply plug yourself into the Ethereum network, ideally via Infura, and start coding. So the ability and speed by which these products can innovate is simply faster, strictly faster than the pace of innovation available to traditional fintech and financial institutions. And it works differently. One of the interesting things about the crypto ecosystem is the crypto ecosystem runs on the crypto ecosystem. So what do I mean by that? I mean, we use the tokens themselves to create the agreements as to how we operate together. And so a recent example of this is my company was contracted to help another crypto company deploy a new kind of market, And in order to do that, we needed to leverage some DeFi primitives to automate the marketplace by doing lending of assets, asset lending, in order to enable the underlying transactions to do that. To do that, we needed to use a couple of other protocols that included passing through a governance vote in order to allow us to do something that hadn't been done before, which we initially lost and then had to recast slightly differently, using tokens from our treasuries, but also using our relationships across the ecosystem. And so there's an entire new stack, and an entire new ERP stack being built for the crypto ecosystem. With some of it here. The new GitHub is Gitcoin, right? The new Bloomberg is June Analytics, right? Keep going and going and going. But these products are designed with a different aim in mind. They're designed to enable decentralized organizations. They're designed to enable the crypto ecosystem and solve its problems in terms of how it does things like voting and distribution and et cetera, et cetera. And so what we're seeing is the compounding effect here, where, or what in technology diffusion theory is called reverse salience, where there's now an ecosystem growing around the ecosystem to support the ecosystem. And all of this becomes a self-reinforcing flywheel. It's not just that Ethereum is winning, Ethereum has won. And the ceiling keeps going higher and higher. A brand new product category was introduced this year that didn't exist before. $0 to $2 billion of sales in a quarter, right? This is growth just that isn't seen elsewhere. If you are an investor and you are looking for return in a no-yield environment, the number one place to look by far is in the crypto ecosystem. So where does this go? At this rate of change, the crypto ecosystem could become a $20 trillion ecosystem in the next 5 years. So why is that so significant? Financial services is a $17 trillion ecosystem today. What we are saying is there is a very real possibility that in the next 5 years, the crypto ecosystem will become as large as the incumbent financial system. That is precisely what we're saying, and that is precisely what we're trying to achieve. And this slide illustrates a few ways that this will happen. That rate of disruption was laughed at, even 5 years ago, that this could never happen, that Bitcoin was a fraud, that this was all a scam. And yet today, when you look at the real level of economic activity taking place, there is no doubt that this is the fastest growing sector in the world. All right, I will stop there, and we can have a look and see if we have any questions. All right. Well, I'll hang on for a minute or two, and if we don't have any questions, we can wrap up. Hey, thank you, everybody. And I'm going to get back to trying to build this thing.
Thanks, Jeremy. I think it's safe to conclude that crypto really isn't going anywhere. And definitely great to highlight how self-reinforcing this industry is, which is also one of its greatest strengths.
Thanks for the time. See you, everybody.
Thanks. And I'll see the rest of you all at 12 p.m. BST for our panel on NFTs, decentralized media. What is it? Featuring Matt Husey, co-founder of Decrypt Media, and June Ian Wong, and Ian Emerson from Fabric Ventures. See you all soon.